Boogie Woogie Oogie, my dude. I've been returning to, if you're reading this, it's too late, probably more than any other piece of music, or I guess body of music, in the last 4 or 5 months. And all that being considered, that body of work came out around 2015. So I'm returning to a roughly 6-year-old project that aged incredibly well. It came out around Valentine's Day 2015, so it is very recently 6 years old. I don't know if it was Quentin, I don't know if it was the production, I don't know who was in that room, but they brought the best out of Drake, and I think everybody agreed for a really long period of time that that was the best of Drake. I think that gets people who didn't like Drake into Drake, and I think that gets people who are already into Drake loving more Drake, and it's a different kind of pocket for Drake in a way. If you look at his discography, ultimately I'm not the biggest fan, subjectively speaking. So Far Gone to me is mid, Thank Me Later is a little mid, especially as it's all aged, right? Take Care I think is overrated, but a mid to good project. I think Nothing Was the Same, if you're reading this, it's too late. What a Time to Be Alive, and maybe even Views, probably his best 4-album stretch. Those are his best 4 projects very easily for me in order. For those 4, it's top being If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, followed by Nothing Was the Same, followed by Views, followed by What a Time to Be Alive. I acknowledge What a Time to Be Alive for the fact that it did so much at that time period, and I mean, he just kind of continued that 2015 kind of stride that he already had with a dual album with Future, and ultimately Jumpman was one of the biggest songs on the planet at that era, and is still one of the probably most recognizable songs of all time, especially in hip-hop. And then Views, I think, is undervalued, is actually a very cohesive project that I have a lot of returnability to. Maybe it was a little too long, maybe it was a little too clean for me in some cases. All things considered, it is pretty returnable. And then for me, that kind of begins the dark ages for me for Drake. I just think More Life was not good. And I love British rap, UK rap, the whole grime scene, the whole drill scene in the UK. I follow actually very closely, and I'm a big fan of a lot of artists over there. And I love that he was giving shine to them, but something about this project was just not good. It was just not well put together. I think Scorpion at that era also poorly put together. Some returnable tracks, but for the most part, like most stuff I'm not into. I think Care Package and demo tapes were both kind of lazy. I think he had to release demo tapes, and I understand why he released demo tapes, and I understand why he releases Care Package too, right? So demo tapes you release because nobody else is releasing. Total makes all the sense in the world, and it's not terrible. I think it's honestly of the projects that I'm mentioning, post Views, it is the best one. Care Package is lazy to me, and it's just like I'll go back and listen to that other shit whenever I want to. Give me new shit. People being like, oh, that's good, just doesn't make sense in my brain. It's old shit. Maybe y'all haven't heard it, but I have. And then demo tapes is just like, again, nobody else is releasing, but it seems slapped together. That brings me to now, which is Certified Lover Boy. I am actually really enjoying where Drake is recently. It seems like he's been in a really good headspace. It seems like I'm resonating with a lot of what he's saying, and I think he's on a recent talent stride and actually is improving on what he's doing. And that's cool because he's been writing hits for a very long time and could stop at any time, but he also is very prolific for what he does. The Scary Hours 2 EP is like a whole lot of mid to me. The Lil Baby song is cool. I think the production on the first track is super basic, and like I like some of the hooks on I'm torn on the hooks really for all 3 of them, and I guess one of them didn't have a hook because it's a freestyle, but I don't know. It's just I knew it was going to be B-sides, but I guess I was hoping for a little bit more considering I'm waiting for Certified Lover Boy. If we look back at it, I've been waiting since 2016 for a Drake project that I've fully resonated with. It feels like a long time. 4 years is kind of a long time when you're releasing every year. That's the issue with being as prolific as Drake is yeah, he can chart because people will play Drake, but when I'm looking for something out of it, I don't know how much I get out of Drake recently. I respect his ability to make hits, but I don't find myself playing them back all the time because it's like, it's just not the same Drake that I felt like I resonated with in 2015. And I understand progressing as a human, right? But I just think a lot of what If You're Reading This, Is Too Late, and a lot of what even Views does correctly, I found Drake divvying from. and maybe even nothing was the same, right? I just wish he was as hungry as he was then. And I hope in Certified Lover Boy I am getting a certified classic album, because again, if you're releasing an album every year, I really don't think you can afford any less than to release a classic album soon. And if you're Drake, I know you got classic B-sides sitting in your fucking computer. You gotta take them shits out and send them out, you know? Because I think he's been biding his time recently, and it's just uninteresting to me recently.